and welcome back. If you are new around here, then hi, nice to meet you. And if you are returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. My name is Alana and I'm a 30-something lady from Scotland, sunny old Scotland. Actually, the weather is not too fucking bad at the moment, considering we're nearly into September. I thought we'd be back in the fucking pitch black by now, but it's actually that heat wave we're talking about might be coming. I'm going down to London in September and I'm like, baby, please, just let there be a little bit of a heat wave. But I'm going to keep my eye on the forecast because it will depend on what I take to wear to London, because it will be in a very tiny suitcase. Anyway, tangent as always. If you like a tangent, if you like someone who rambles off talking about other things that have nothing to do with the video then this might just be the place for you. Also, as a word of warning, just so you know, I do love a bit of a sweary word. I quite like to say fuck, shite and bugger. If you're not into that kind of thing, then that is absolutely fine. But if you do like that kind of thing, there is a little subscription button down here if you fancy clicking it. Put a thumbs up in the video, all that other kind of pish that all the YouTubers say. Let's just fucking face it. But this video is going to be this look. It is a wearable Wednesday look, and I am using some of the products that I picked up from my most recent YESSTYLE haul. As from the get-go, I have to say that if you do use any of the codes down below or use my link, anything like that, then it is an affiliate code in the sense that I make commission on some of the YESSTYLE stuff. I have to be open and honest about that, and I always like to be open and honest about that. So it will say add here somewhere, and down below it will say that as well. I think I mentioned the last time I spoke about YESSTYLE, I've made like £15, and I think at the moment I've maybe made like £17, so woo! I love sarcasm as well. If you are new around here, then hi, it is very lovely to meet you. This is a very simple look, it's a very go-to, easy, breezy look, very soft look as well. So if you like the idea of this, and you like the way I look today, and you want to find out how to achieve this look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so as always, grab yourself a tea, a coffee, a cuppa, whatever the fuck you like. Today, because I got a jazzy new water bottle that looks like wood, still on that August no buy, but the things in this video, if you have already seen my most recent YESSTYLE haul, you will have seen some of these items. Now, I am not the most adept at doing Korean beauty. I'm not going to claim like I am. There's a lot of people out there who can do real Korean beauty a lot better than I can. But because I'm using Korean beauty products to create this, when you look at Korean beauty, they have very beautiful glowing skin. Glass skin was a big thing that came over from Japan and Korean beauty. But nowadays, what I've realised is, on researching, put a lot of work into this, that they actually have a lot of problems with maskne, the way we do, given the last kind of 18 months that we've all had. So these areas here, they like to keep quite matte. It's all about a soft focus skin, and they do a little bit of contouring now. They never used to really do that in Korean beauty, but now it's not like Kim K, but they do a tiny wee bit of contouring now, just to help the face look a little slimmer, a little bit the way I do anyway. So we're going to do a tiny bit of that as well. The eyeshadow is nothing crazy. They use a little bit of sparkle. Glitters have become a real big thing in Korea, and it's all about flushed, peachy, pinky, healthy looking cheeks and skin, and everything else is pretty subdued and just looking very pretty. So that is what we're going to do today. Alright, so to start off, I'm going to take this is from Erborian. Now this is their CC cream. I have it in the Door, which is dark, and the Clar, which is light. I think they have came out with a few new shades, but if I'm honest with you, their shade range is still pretty abysmal. The shade range in a lot of Korean beauty products, especially when it comes to base stuff, is pretty abysmal. It's because in Korean beauty and Korean culture, and probably Japanese culture as well, having fairer, lighter skin is what is perceived to be beautiful. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a good way to think about things, but it is not my culture. I think everybody of every skin tone is absolutely stunning. There are people who are absolutely gorgeous, who have black ebony skin, and people who are equally gorgeous who have porcelain doll skin. I don't think we should see beauty standards that way. I'm not agreeable to it, but for that reason, I'm not necessarily recommending this brand, but it is one of the only kind of products that I've got in that realm, because I don't tend to buy any base products from K-beauty or Japanese beauty or skincare, because I just think I don't want to support those brands that are not necessarily catering to lots of people. You might be someone in America who's really into K-beauty, and you might have dark or tan skin, and you might want to get involved in that, and I don't think it's right that you can't. Burberry, I was very disappointed in you quite recently, because you obviously are not just based in Japan or Korea, and you are not just based in that culture. you know that other people around the world might be interested in that, but the excuse, as I would say, that they said they didn't bring out other shade ranges was because they said that people in that market weren't interested in buying K-beauty. Who knows? What's your thoughts on that? I think it's pretty abysmal. I think we should still be catering to all shade ranges. Now, as I'm putting this on my hand, you will see this looks very, very white. That's because it's one of these ones that just tints to your skin. So I'm just going to apply this. I've already done my skincare, and actually today I used the Neogen Joan Day Joan Night Cream, and I used the day side for my moisturiser prior to applying this. But I am going to put on a little bit of powder too, which is very abnormal for me. But to try and achieve that almost airbrushed look, that is why I'm going to have to use a little bit of powder. I don't mind just going straight in with my hands with this. You could apply it with a brush, but I feel like it's a really nice product in the way that it works for your skin. It's like a skincare come makeup product. I just wish they had better shade ranges, especially because they're sold here in the UK. Arborian are stocked in Space NK and in really big counters here in the UK, and I think they should seriously be considering their shade range. There we go. So it's just evened out my skin ever so slightly. It also has SPF of 25, I think, this as well. I'm next going to go in with a primer. Now, from some of the things that I've watched with regards to K-beauty, a lot of it is about mattifying the middle, mattifying your oily areas, but leaving this glow on the cheeks, which I love anyway. I'm going to just take a little bit of this L'Oreal Glow Cherie. Now, I know that I've already put a little bit of base down, but what I'm going to do is just run this across the areas where I really want it to look like I am glowy and dewy, rather than putting on like full force a layer of it all over the skin, because I don't have a mattifying primer. I don't tend to really use primers like that. I don't really like the feeling of them, and for that reason, that's why I am only applying this in the areas where I want to look a little dewy. Oh, I'm gonna have to put a cushion behind my back. I feel like as if, oh, since the cat's moved, now I'm like not propped up properly. Oh, that's a bit more comfortable. Okay, so for eyes, it is going to be very, very simple. And this is a clean brush, but I'm just running across the tops of my lids with this brush because just in case they're a little oily at all, I want to make sure that the eyelids are nice and matte. You could put powder across your eyes as well to do this, but sometimes I don't feel that's required. So I'm just going across with this clean brush. Now I'm going to use the Kaleidos Futurism palette. This is the Sashimi City. I can never fucking say that word. I think it's because I'm Scottish and it just goes a wee bit like Sashimi City. I end up speaking like Sean Connery every time I fucking say it. But I'm going to take this because it has really neutral kind of pinks and browns and just like neutral tones in it, like orangey peachy tones, which I feel are really, really good for Korean beauty and very much what I've seen being used. So I am going to take the colour Gourmet, which is the kind of more peachy one in the middle here, and I'm just going to run that all over the mobile lid area. And then I'm going to take it up a little higher because, as we've discussed before, if you've got a hooded eyelid at all, and mine is just a little bit hooded, like I do have a lot of space here, but if it drops down then you lose a little bit of that colour. So I'm just going to take it a little higher. And actually, anybody that I've watched that spoke about Korean beauty or Korean beauty trends, and ladies who are putting it on themselves that are Asian, they also advise that they put on this way because of the hooded eyes and the shape of the eyes. Then they say take it just a little bit above. So this is not some sort of new fucking trick. I'm telling anybody, this has been on for a long time. Here we are. So I've just kept that really nice and soft there and blurred out. Just making sure that I'm putting a little bit of shape into it. I'm pulling it up at the side ever so slightly, but it's very, very soft. Alright, so I'm now going to take this one here, which is a slightly darker pink colour, which is called Salmon Skyline. And it is again a beautiful peachy pink colour, and I'm just going to put a little bit of shading on the outer corner here with that and bring it up a little bit as well to elevate this side of my eye. And there we go. I think you can just see the difference between the two eyes, how this one now has a little bit more shadow and shading going on this area here, and this side is just pretty flat. Now I love Kaleidos as a brand, but I know they are based in China and not Korea or Japan, just in case anybody thinks that I'm that ignorant. I do know that they are usually based out of China, but I thought I would use them because they are certainly over in the kind of eastern part of the world, and I thought it would be very, very good to use them as well because their colours they're very, very saturated, and the powders themselves go on like a dream. I cannot recommend enough the Kaleidos eyeshadows. I think they are absolutely stunning, and they still give that beautiful kind of soft colour that I'm wanting and wanting to keep for this look. I actually think I went a little darker on this side, so I'm just going to even that up over here. But sometimes it's because my light is on, and sometimes on the viewfinder I'm looking at it thinking, all right, okay, that side's a little darker, but it actually might just be because the light is on that side of me. I'm just going to go back in with the brush that I used originally and just soften up that edge a little, because I think it is a little bit too clean cut there. I just want it to be a little bit softer. Alright, so next up I'm going to take this eyeliner here. This is Whipple from Linda Hallberg Cosmetics, and I'm just going to take that, I think a brown liner, especially with this look. But sometimes in Korean beauty they don't have the big massive wings the way we do here in Western culture. It's all just a little bit softer. So I'm just going to do a very thin kind of fine line along the lash line and pull it out ever so slightly. But I am not going to do a really thick line right across the lash line. I'm going to keep it very thin. There, so you can see there just the difference that that's made from that eye to that eye, but it's still not like a big winged liner. And I'm then going to go in with the kind of more deeper shades from this palette, the two browns here. One is called Promenade and the other one is called Soy Sauce, this one here. And I'm going to go in with the slightly deeper one, and I'm just going to run that along the top of that liner and just accentuate it slightly, blend it in a little bit as well, but not really doing any crazy big wings. There we go, so you can see just the difference that has made from that eye to that eye. And that's me done both eyes now, but you will see that I have pulled the wing out ever so slightly more. That was just to flatter my eye shape, to be honest with you, but you could just leave it as a straight line as well, but I just wanted a little bit more going on there. Now underneath, on the bottom here, I think that we're going to go very soft again. I'm going to take that initial shade that I took. Hold on, I got a wee fluffy brush here. This is my Refer number 3. I fucking love these. These are also an Asian beauty brand, actually. I didn't even think about that there, but Refer are also made over in that side of the world. So I'm going to take that initial colour that I took, Gourmet, and I'm just going to go underneath here. Now I'm going to take it a little lower. I like a grungy eye anyway, so this isn't any kind of amazing new thing for me, but I'm taking it a little bit lower because see this baggy eye shape here? You can see I've kind of accentuated the eye bag that I've got. In K-beauty, that's quite a nice thing. Like, they actually look to achieve that kind of almost like cute kind of baggy eye shape there. I don't even know how to fucking explain it, because in this culture, in our side of the world, it's like try and get rid of your bags, look as young as you can, look as smooth as you can. And certainly in Korean beauty and Asian beauty, they are still striving for that young, youthful appearance. But a kind of little eye bag is something that they really like. So I've just brought it down a little bit lower there than you would normally, but for me, as I say, I am someone who loves a grungy eye anyway, so I kind of took it right down because it doesn't really bother me. Now I'm going to take the slightly lighter brown now, and that is called Promenade. I'm going to take that and I'm just going to join this to here. Not because I want it to be a deep and dark smoky eye, I just want to join that little tail to something. Alright, so that's where I'm going to leave the shadow, I want to say. But I'm going to take this is the Shine Fix Eyes. I want to say this is from a company that starts with an A, but I can't fucking remember their name. I am rubbish. And also I cannot tell you the colour because it is in Korea, or it might be in Cantonese, it might be in Mandarin, Korean, Japanese. I have no idea what the wording is on the back. But I will link everything that I'm using down below. Now this is just like one of these little pressed pigment pots, and I'm just going to put this on this part of the eye here because glitter in Korean beauty, especially in the last kind of couple of years, has become a real big thing. Like this gorgeous like glittery eye just across the top here. Yep, they kind of fucking love it now. I think it used to be a real West Coast kind of thing, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe actually it was pinched from Korean beauty and that's why we've got it now. Please let me know if you know different. But I know that recently this has become much more of a thing, like this glittery eye, this soft glittery eye. There we go, and it's quite a nice colour, that one. It kind of goes with the peachy tones that I already have on. I'm just gonna smooth it a little bit. I'm using my fingers, but the reason I'm using my fingers is because sometimes products like this, they really don't show up very well when you're using a brush, so that's why I wanted to use my fingers. Now, using the same product, I'm going to go in and highlight this little area here. As I've said before, this area here for me getting highlighted is much more flattering, or just works better for my eye shape than putting it right in here in the corner. This area just under here just makes it pop a little bit more. There, it just brightens up in that area. Now, you could take some extra and pop it in here as well if you wish, but this inner corner, if I only highlight the inner corner, it doesn't really do very much for my eyes. I usually need to pop it just on that tear duct area. Also, if you're using glitter on your eyelids, be careful you don't get it in your eyes. I've used this a few times now, and I have to say, it's maybe not quite as good as the Bodyography, but it is a very, very good dupe. So if you do have any interest in these, I will link this down below. I was going to say as well, the gorgeous shimmers that are in the Sashimi City palette as well are just absolutely stunning, but I thought it would maybe just be a little too much for this look. I didn't want to take away from the fact that it was supposed to be kind of soft, and these are really, really shimmery, as you can see, but very, very beautiful. Alright, so eyebrows in Korean beauty are a funny thing because they are not super duper arched the way ours are. They are not like super duper laminated like ours are. It's usually quite a straight brow they prefer, so something a little bit more like this. Apparently it makes you look more youthful. So for me, I am just gonna, because I do have a very naturally arched brow, so I am just gonna brush this across, and then what I might try and do is just kind of join this area here a little to make my brow look a little bit straighter. I don't know if I'm going to be able to achieve that, but I will try my best. So the thing about brows, again, in Korean beauty is that it should look as natural as possible. So don't block them out too much. Don't make them look too like firm in their shape. So I'm wanting them to stay nice and kind of fluffy here. But I obviously, like I said, I have this really arched brow naturally. So I've went over that with a little bit of pencil. Is what it is. You can clearly see I've drawn on it. I can't do anything about that. That's just the natural shape of my brows. But also, I don't want to laminate them right up. I just want it to be a little bit straighter. You don't want them to be too full. You don't want them to be too dark or anything like that, because it's going to take away and put focus on that area of the face. And so I'm just brushing this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows. I'm just brushing that through really softly and kind of curving them over at the top slightly, and then just following through underneath. So actually, looking at these, I've probably made them a little too dark, but my brows are very dark naturally, so it wouldn't be possible not to have them dark. What I'm going to do now is curl my lashes. Now, I do have this lash curler from Shiseido. As I said, this was in the haul as well. But what I was going to say was that Korean beauty, they do sometimes use a false lash. They certainly sell loads of them on YESSTYLE, but I have quite naturally long lashes anyway. They don't have crazy big eyelashes like we wear, like huge big falsies. That just doesn't happen. It's a lot more natural looking. So for that reason, I'm not going to put on falsies today, because I do have naturally quite long lashes, and I'm just going to curl them instead. Now I'm going to take this. This is the Isn't-Free. Oh, so difficult. Isn't Tree and Isn't Free. And this is the Micro Cara, the skinny Micro Cara. Can you see the size of this mascara wand? It's tiny! Now, I remember seeing the girls over at Algorithm talking about this, and I'm sure it was stocked at Algorithm for quite a long time, because it gives so much natural lash, so fluttery, so fine, but also apparently holds a curl really, really well and makes them look super soft and subtle. Alright, so that is one side done. It's definitely got an effect. Like, there's definitely something on my eye there. What's quite nice about the brush is you can get right to the base of that lash line without worrying about sticking the brush in your eye or anything like that, which is very, very pleasant. I am not going to put any on the lower lash line. I think I'm just going to leave that as is. Again, I don't think it's a massive thing to have both, although they do like doll eye looks sometimes, don't they? Sometimes that's a thing in Korean beauty, so I don't know, maybe I should put on the bottom lash line. I actually think this is a really beautiful mascara. I think it's very nice. Alright, so I've put a tiny bit on the bottom lash line as well, just to amp it up a little bit. But I mean, I don't think you have to, but I actually think that's a really, really pretty mascara. I was very dubious about that tiny wand, but I do actually think that's very, very nice. Alright, so I am also going to put on a little bit of lip balm here, and this one I think is in Wedding Peach Tea. This is also from Isn't-Free, and it's, look, a very, very similar dupe to a certain glossy that I know, so I just wondered if it was going to be similar. Is this going to be more like a lip gloss though? No. So I just squirted it out and it just came out in a big worm. I probably should have heated the tube up a little bit, but that's fine. I'm just going to put that on my finger here. Take a little bit, and I say it is this kind of pinky colour, but because it's just a lip balm, there is a kind of scent to it. It's a kind of floral scent, if I'm honest with you, but it's very, very comfortable. It's very, very nice, and I thought I'll put a lip balm on because I am going to put on that kind of blurred matte lip that is very, very popular in Korean beauty as well. Has a little bit of a pinky tint to it, but not ridiculously so. I think it's probably quite similar to my lip colour, so it's fine. But okay, that's interesting. We will keep that. It means that when I finish my glossy fig, I have this one then to move on to. Now for the cheeks, I picked up two products. I already talked about them in the haul. One is this here. This is the FMGT. I don't even know what that means. And this is the Moisture Cushion Blush. And this is in red. And I also picked up this here from Skin Food. I've tried their stuff before. And this is their peach powder. But this is the one I'm going to use to mattify a little bit. Now this is a mini. This is a travel size. Just open it like so. And it has a little press on it. Like a little old school powder compact press. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put on the blush first, because I think that the blush is going to be the one, because it's a cushion blush, it's going to be a little wetter. So I'm going to put that on first. Now as I say, it is in red, so we're going to do this very, very carefully. This one also has a little compact with it, but I think I'm just going to use my fingers for this because I'm a little dubious as to what this is going to come out like. Now this is it here. It is one of these cushion type of situations. Like you've probably seen cushion kind of foundations and things like that before. Like I say, they didn't really kick off here in the West very much. I think they were thought to be a little bit more of a faff than there was needed. But in Asia and in Korea and Japan, these are all the rage. So a lot of the base products are sold like this. A lot of the blush products are sold like this. And I am going to bring it really high on the cheek and almost do a little bit of blush draping with my finger here. I'm going to put it right on the apple of the cheek there as well. So this one said red, but it's almost like a really kind of watery consistency. Like I can't explain it to you. Yeah, red, but not like bright red the way I was expecting. It's definitely much more of just like a flush, which is very, very easy to work with, which is quite nice. Now, the blush draping thing, I'm not sure that is overly Korean or K-beauty type thing, but I just kind of like that for the shape of my face, so I'm just doing that. But keeping it really high, not low down, very, very pretty, like apples of the cheeks, being very cutesy, I suppose. But that is where I'm going to leave that, unless I'm going to take this little brush here that I've got. This is my KGH, and I'm going to just go in with the stippling brush into the moussey type of sponge, and I'm gonna just place that with this brush as well, just to see how it goes on my brush as well. Definitely more pigmented with the brush. Just gonna bring the excess around the temple areas and then start to kind of blend that in. I've not put on any concealer yet. Again, concealer in K-beauty is very much about just putting it where you need it, which is right up my street, because I don't like putting concealer all over the face. It makes you look quite heavy and cakey at times, and that is exactly what they're trying to avoid in K-beauty as well. So we're just keeping this nice and light on the face. I'm going to put it across here too, because again, it's just my thing, it's my style. So I actually think that's very, very pretty. I very much like that. I think it's very, very pretty and very kind of just a little flush of colour to the face. Very, very nice. I am now going to take the peach powder from Skin Food. Oh, and it smells like peaches. Oh yeah, definitely does. Okay, so we're going to take the little compact powder puff thing, and I'm going to just put it in these areas here where they don't really like to have any kind of shine on the face. I'm just going to put it through here as well, because again, it's that kind of soft blur. You still want to look like you've got nice dewy skin, but you don't want to look like you have sweaty skin like I normally enjoy. I'm just going to pop it here in these areas, because again, an area that I get a little shiny and a little sweaty, but I really love that. So this is really weird for me, taking away a lot of that dew, but still keeping it here on these edges. Now I am going to add a tiny bit of concealer. I'm just going to take the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, a very small amount of it. And I'm just going to lighten up this little inner corner here with that. I really don't want to be doing too much else. As I said, just really where you need it, rather than kind of all over the face or caking the face up. And then I'm going to go back in with my little powder puff and just press it on these areas, because again, it's an area where they don't like it to be too shiny or dewy. Something like Glossier Stretch probably wouldn't be, I want to say maybe not that big a thing in Korea, because they prefer things to be very matte here. But I fucking love Glossier Stretch Concealer, so I'm not going to knock it, but just for the purposes of this look. Now, I'm going to add the tiniest bit of bronzer, just because, as I say, contouring is not a big thing in Korean beauty, and it hasn't been for a little while, but I think that they've started to do it just to change the face shape a little bit, but not in the way that we see the Kardashians do it, the massive kind of drag way that has really became popular here in the West. So I'm just going to run a little bit. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury, the Bronze and Glow, and I'm just going to take the bronzer and pop it here, because I just want to sink back that edge to my jawline a little bit and make it look a little softer and a little rounder. And I'm using my LARAFAYE F06 for this. This is a great brush because it's like this shape where it will hug your jawline. Again, I am not paid to talk about LARAFAYE, but I have received PR from them before, so if you see me speaking about it or it's down below, it will say #ad. And I'm going to take a very small amount just here at the back by my ear, just to give me a little bit of shape to that part of my face, but not anything too drastic. And I don't even think I'm going to bother with doing the temples. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And lastly, we're going to do lips. Now, I'm just going to blot off some of that lip balm because it feels very nice, but when you're putting on maybe like a matte lip balm or something like that, this is usually too slippy and slidey to put on top of. Now, I have so many lip products to choose from. This is more like a liquid lip. I want to say this is from 3CE, who I really, look at that colour. Oh, that is beautiful. I think too dark for this colour though. I'm not going to use that today. And then I picked up another one of these, and this one is in carrot pink. Now this one might look very nice for this look actually. Ooh, that could go nicely. Now, I was reading recently that it used to be all about the kind of more ombre lip, that really blurred ombre lip in Korean beauty. And now they're going for a little bit more like My Lips But Better kind of situation. So this one actually might work really well for that kind of My Lips But Better situation, where it's going to be like a nude colour, but it's still going to have colour there. And what I'm doing is starting from the inside and working my way out. Very hard to do when you're talking, sorry. Now, using a lip liner as well in Korean beauty, I don't think is a massive thing, because they don't want really full. It's all about having that soft blurred edge on the lip. So for that reason, I'm just going to very carefully kind of map out where I want this to be, but I am not going to do a lip liner. Now, I think that one is gorgeous. I really like the colour. Just going to blend that out slightly. And I think I'm going to take the carrot pink one and just put that on a little bit more in the middle, because I really want it to be kind of accentuating and giving me a little bit more shape to my lips. Now, I think that is lovely. I really like that colour. I probably went a little bit ham with the carrot red, or the carrot pink, sorry, but I thought it was absolutely beautiful. I am just taking a really soft brush. It was actually the one I used on my eyes earlier, and just blurring that lip line, because again, that soft kind of bitten lip is very on trend for Korean beauty. Alright, so that is my wearable Wednesday look today for kind of all Korean products, almost all Korean products, but giving you that really flush look, the very bitten lip, the very kind of easy eye, but with a little sparkle on it too. I really like that micro carrot. I think that's so impressive. The brow is very different for me, like this kind of more straight brow, and it was very difficult to achieve because of my shape of brows, but otherwise I really like it. I really like this too, that is very nice. If they had other colours, maybe more of an orangey tone, I would be quite interested in that, because this is definitely a nice kind of flush pink colour rather than a red, I would say. But I am impressed with these as well. These are from 3CE. I did pick up another item from 3CE. It was one of their slim velvet colours. I already had one of them in Cotton Up. And this one here from Rom and, I thought that was lovely as well. I've obviously went with a slightly darker colour in the end, but this as a nude was a beautiful, beautiful shade as well. So I'm overall kind of impressed with a lot of this stuff. Really enjoyed it. There are some other bits and bobs that I didn't mention in this video, so as I've already said, if you haven't seen my haul video, head over and see that now, and let me know what you think of this kind of look. Would you wear something like this? I think it is very everyday friendly, absolutely. And it's still got a little bit of colour to it, and it has still got that lovely glow to the skin, but just mattified in other areas that I'm not terribly used to. But you know what? I actually quite like the way it's turned out. I think it's really nice. So I'm going to leave it here, and let me know what your thoughts are on this. Have you tried any of this stuff? Do you wish to try any of this stuff? Have you always had a bit of an interest in YESSTYLE or Korean beauty? So with all that being said, I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you all again in the next one. Bye.